Yes, welcome in, and the moment is finally upon us. Much anticipated, heavily deliberated, and now we have a final review and comparison of the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4 after having both for over a month now and experiencing them, all the games, the hardware, and we're gonna break down which one's better, category by category and overall. As promised, again, if you want to see the full in-depth reviews on either the PS4 or the Xbox One, click on this box for the Xbox, click on this box for the PS4, and it'll take you to the individual reviews, but this is all about which one you should get if you're debating between the two. All right, so we're going to do this review a little bit differently, where we actually go category by category through multiple things, including hardware, controller, operating software, graphics, apps, the value, and then our final overall review. So let's start off with the hardware. First up, we'll start with the aesthetics. The Xbox One is definitely a bigger unit, although not quite as big as many people have claimed it to be. It's actually a little bit smaller than my DirecTV cable box, but definitely is a whale compared to the PS4. In terms of looks, they both feature a matte and glossy black feature, so the color schemes are the same. In terms of portability, the PS4 definitely wins here just because it's a smaller unit, and also one advantage to it is it doesn't have the huge power brick the Xbox One has. However, because of how much space the Xbox One does have, and because it uses the power on the outside using the brick, making it basically an extension of the console, people are saying it will be more reliable, just because it has the less of a chance to overheat. However, that's yet to be proven, it's just speculation, and we'll have to see over time. In terms of raw aesthetics, I'd say it's a tie in terms of actual look. I don't think one unit looks better than the other, but in terms of size and portability, the PS4 wins by a landslide. Now, in terms of hardware, the Xbox One also does come with a Kinect unit, which is bulkier than the last Kinect. The PS4 doesn't come with the camera, but it is also a little bit cheaper. You can buy that separately for another 60 or 70 bucks, but it is nowhere near as good as the Kinect camera and sensor. Now, in terms of hardware and appearance, we give this to a tie. Yes, the PS4 is a little bit more powerful on the chip side. It is a lot smaller and easier to transport. However, the Xbox One does have the whole Kinect system, so because of this, they really cancel each other out, and it boils down to preference. So we have a tie in our first category. In our next category, we'll go head-to-head with the controllers. In the last generation, I preferred the Xbox 360 controller to the PS3. However, if I had to choose one, although they're both very, very good, the Xbox One basically improves an already great design. PlayStation really stepped it up and to me wins a better controller. Not only because it looks a little bit cooler with the identifying LED light on the back, the controller's a little bigger, lighter, it has a speaker on it. The buttons and control pads, as well as the triggers and joysticks, feel very high quality, and I really love and can't wait to see the potential for this mouse pad track that reminds me of the back of a PS Vita, and I think this is especially going to come in handy if they can do things like what they did with FIFA for the Vita, where basically if you picture this as a goal post in soccer, you literally click where you want the ball to go, and the kicker, that's where you aim. So hopefully we'll be able to see things like that with the PS4, and it also serves as a mouse. So because of that alone, because of the size, because of the color, it just, to me, is more appealing and more advanced than the Xbox One controller, which is really good. The controller was already great, and they've gotten rid of the battery bump that I would always make loose, which was my biggest complaint. The triggers are actually, you can actually feel vibration in individual ones, feedback, so it's a little better than the PS4 controller in that sense. However, still not as big of a jump as the PS3 to PS4 controller. So if I had to give it to one, again, neither is bad, the PS4 would win by a slight hair. Now let's get to the operating systems. Now, in terms of the last generation, the Xbox 360 won without a doubt over the PS3. However, PlayStation 4 operating system is very clean, very good, but very different than the Xbox One. The Xbox One is made to be the hub of your entire entertainment center, and that's how we have it set up. Of course, we all know about, and if not, you can check the full Xbox One review on how you can connect your TV to it, how you can connect your cable box, and how it'll actually control it, which Works good in theory for the most part outside of DVR or if you're trying to go back and rewind, and there is some difficulty. It still isn't quite as easy as actually just using your controller sometimes to change the channel. For example, if Xbox can't understand the channel name that you're saying, or if you just want to go to a random, say, channel 711, you can't do it as easily with the Xbox as you can with the traditional controller. However, if you know exactly what you want to watch, for example, Xbox Watch ESPN, it'll flick it to it right away and really is the hub of your entire entertainment universe. The way I have my system set up with both the Xbox One and PS4 is the Xbox is at the center and controls my entire TV from the moment I turn on. So even when I'm playing the PS4, the Xbox One is on in the background because it controls my audio, it controls my TV, and it controls the whole overall thing. And again, a big criticism of the Xbox One before it came out to me was how reliant it was on the voice controls. I just didn't care. I didn't want to walk into my living room and say, Xbox on and control it with my voice because that was never cool to me. I always just wanted to do the controller stuff. I never did it with the last Kinect. However, after actually getting it, I don't think I've used my controller once other than when the Xbox wouldn't understand me, which does happen a little bit, but it's pretty good and it's only going to get better in the future. Now, the PS4 operating system is infinite times better than that PS3. It's super easy to scroll through, find what you want, and gets right to the point, and in a way is actually faster and easier for pure gaming than the Xbox One is. You have less to fiddle around with, you almost have more control. It's really a gaming center. You obviously get all the different apps from Netflix and so on both systems, and I just prefer to use the Xbox One for it because it already controls my whole TV. And that's really something you'll find in line with this overall comparison between the PS4 and the Xbox One. We'll talk more about it in the end, but they both do great things. You can't go wrong either way. The Xbox One is made to be the center of your entertainment universe at home. The PS4, while it can do all those things, is a gaming system at heart, but works very, very well and is very easy for getting around. Plus, they both feature online subscriptions that are about $50 a year. However, the PS4 does give you this cool-ass game selection where you can play free games all the time. Now, for the operating system and software, again, it just depends on what you go to. A lot of these are going to boil down to your personal preference, but because of its ambition and all that it does to control your living room, the Xbox One wins. Now, one important thing is obviously graphics, and to me, the Xbox 360 and the PS3, if you saw my other reviews, already looked so good. I felt less excited about this jump in generational consoles than the past. However, after playing the games, especially when we get down to some of the Xbox exclusive games, they just look so magnificent. To Rise, to anything, to Assassin's Creed, they're just incredible games, visually beautiful, and this is just the first run of games. It's only going to get better as the years go on, and developers actually learn how to program for these consoles from the start. When comparing the games side by side, the PlayStation 4 does have a little bit of an advantage, especially with games such as Call of Duty that runs in 1080 on the PS4 while it only hits 720 on the Xbox 360. Now, the difference is barely noticeable. The only time you'd ever notice it if you have a TV side by side or a screenshot side by side and you compare it. It's nothing noticeable where you're like going from system to system and saying, wow, that system's so much better, that one is. In fact, if you did, say, a blind taste test, we'll call it, between each system and didn't tell people which one was which, there's no way you'd really be able to tell. However, because it does have a slightly more powerful chip, and because the graphics are slightly better when it's compared side by side versus other games, the PS4 wins, again, just by a hair, the graphics category. All right, so they're video game systems. The next category we have is games. Arguably the most important, because without games, you can't have a system, no matter how great it is. So I've been able to play a lot of games, and these don't even count as the ones that I've downloaded. And I've played certain games like Assassin's Creed, NBA 2K14, Battlefield, Call of Duty for both systems. Now for those games, we're not going to go through Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Call of Duty Ghosts, FIFA, NBA 2K14, because they're available for both systems, and to be honest, they're pretty much the same for each system. Let's go through the exclusives. These are the games that I'm actually really playing and obsessed with. For PS4, the only true exclusive right now that I really like is Killzone. I kind of avoided some of the other ones, but Killzone's a really, really cool game. Although That being said, it's the only true exclusive for PS4 at this moment that I really love. However, when I get the Xbox One exclusives in my hand, we're talking Forza Motorsport 5. Forza 5 is a must-have game, and it's probably the best-looking game on any next-gen system. Dead Rising 3 is incredible, just in its ability to have so many zombies on screen. It's just fun to go in, kill them, slay them, and not really think and just kind of get loose. Rise, arguably with Forza, is one of the most beautiful games out there. Even Zoo Tycoon is fun for a lot of people. I haven't been playing it quite as much, but it definitely is a cool premise and a niche for it. But overall, I mean, just look what's in my hand, what I'm playing. In terms of exclusive games, because of that, the Xbox One has the slight advantage. Plus, with some of the games coming out in 2014, such as Halo, for example, being Xbox One exclusives, I will give the nod in the games category to the Xbox One. Now moving on to the app section, which I guess could kind of fall after our software section, but it is a little bit different. This is one area where both companies have done a very good job improving from the last generation. However, you still feel like there's a lot more to come. Now, the PS4 is infinite times better than the PS3 in terms of apps and using it, navigating, operating software, online play, and just overall system functions. It's a true gaming machine, and you really feel that from the start. The ability to download games instantly has worked perfect for me other than launch weekend when their servers got so overloaded. However, it's been fine other than that first week blemish. Other than that, it's been fine. But just super easy to navigate around. In fact, all the Netflix and different apps, the TV and video apps, almost easier to navigate in a weird way than the Xbox One for some reason. It's almost more intuitive, if that makes more sense. The Xbox almost just has so much stuff. When you get to moving around, it can sometimes overwhelm you. However, that being said, the Xbox One does do a lot more. Its ability to just control your TV within it, especially when you see the cool things like the TV snap on the side, which is, think of a picture-in-picture functionality, one of my favorite things, because now I can watch my games while I'm actually playing a game, which is ideal for things like sports. So for example, if I want to keep tabs on a game, but I'm not that obsessed to need to watch it right now unless it gets down to the last play, I can go play a game while I'm watching that game in the corner, or whatever I choose to put up there, which can be an app, which can be a movie. I wouldn't recommend it for that because it's kind of tough to watch a movie while you're playing a game, especially in that small corner. And there is a lot of room for improvement, especially with the Xbox. I mean, it is very small in the corner, however, it does take up a good portion of the screen. Hopefully they can make it like a little picture-in-picture true box at the top. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that come down for both of these systems in software updates throughout the future. However, because of just its native hardware ability to show more, and because of its goals of being that centerpiece of your living room, plus the history the Xbox 360 had over the PS3 in terms of what its software did, the Xbox One definitely gets the nod in the app category. Now for our last category, before we get to our final overview, we have value. The Xbox One is priced at $499 here in the States, the PS4 only at $399. Now, in terms of value, the Xbox One comes with the Kinect sensor and the built-in ability to take over your whole living room from plugging in your cable or DirecTV or Dish Network box to it. The PS4 is a little bit cheaper, doesn't come with the Kinect, but is the most powerful true gaming system out there. In terms of value, because of the price difference, if they were the same price, I would say something different. I would say they are very equal, and this category goes to a tie. It just depends on what you want. Which brings us to our final overview. Which is better? Which one should you get? The Xbox One or the PS4? And like basically this whole thing is gone, I can't recommend one. I literally have a tie. After playing and having both of these for over a month, I'm 50-50 on each. I really wish I could say more and give you guys more to go off of, but that's the honest 100% truth. If you can get both, they're both great gaming systems, I'm not even gonna lie. Xbox One, PS4, you can't lose either way, and I don't think there's going to be difficulty for both to succeed in this market. Everybody's saying which one is going to win. They're both going to find their lanes. They're both going to have their fan bases. They're both going to sell a lot of units. There's enough people in the world to support both of these units. You don't have to have one succeed and one not. Each one is going to have their own lineup of exclusive games. Right now, the Xbox One looks better there. Each is going to have their own unique features. After a month and a half, they're both where we started, equal. The good news is you can't go wrong. That's my thoughts on it. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to be as honest and critical as we can. I wish I could tell you just buy this one or just buy this one, but you can't go wrong either way, honestly. It's been our review. We'll be back with many, many, many more reviews throughout the next year and keep you up to date with every latest consumer electronic piece, kicks, music, technology, cars, fun stuff, life, Skee TV. I'm gonna get back to my games. Which one should I play though?